Welcome to the Flow with Glow, woohoo! Where we're all shiny, shimmying on down in my shiny outfit for the yoga class. The solstice class, super sunny vibes because it's the solstice, the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, inviting in all the solar energy, hence the shiny. And we've got obviously some Sun Salutations in there because, I mean, what would we be doing if we weren't doing some Sun Salutations to honour the sun? So we've got a round of classicals and half a round of B. We've got lots of opening the hips. We've got some balance in there as well. So we've got some tree pose and some chair pose, one-legged chair. That's me in my actual chair doing one-legged chair. So a lot of that to open the hips, but in a way that we're grounding in and balancing that energy, uniting that masculine yang energy of like woo, fire, waha, action. But we're tipping over into Cancer season, which is all about nurture and, you know, regrowth and a massive feminine energy. So we've also got some nice watery grounding poses and lots of hip opening as well. So I've got some goddess poses, some mermaid pose to finish with, as well as lots of our fire, yang, active poses. I have got a little segment at the end of the video where I pull a few cards from the Litha Solstice deck and do a little bit of talking about the chart of the actual solstice on the 21st and the energies. So once the class finished, you can check out the timestamp for those little extras at the end if you want to partake in them. Without further ado, let's get on the mat. Whoop-de-woo! Hello! Welcome to this super summer solstice class where I'm wearing my most sunny, shiny, shimmery outfit, just for you guys, and for me actually. Face it, it's for me. I had to have it. So coming down onto our mats to start, as enthusiastically as you like. You can come all the way down, like so, if you would like. And we're just going to slide momentarily into a child's pose, just to get a little bit grounded. So just on our bent knees, with our heads on the mat, arms extended out. You can be a little higher with the wrists stacked and the forehead on the wrists if you would prefer. Then we're just going to come to a seat. So come to kneeling. And then we're going to take both of the feet, both soles of the feet, and place them together so the feet can meet. I'm just going to open the hips a little. So fluttering those knees up and down, up and down. So the sun, this solstice, is going to be at 29 degrees of Gemini. And then it will immediately tip over into Cancer season. So some nice little butterfly flappy legs here to represent the Gemini and just to open our hips because we need to do that. And then bring one foot towards the pelvis, followed by the other. And we're just going to put one hand on our knee and take the other one behind and look over the shoulder, doing a gentle twist. And we're going to swap it over. So inhale as you twist and exhale to relax into the posture. Looking over that shoulder. Lovely. And come back to center. Now I'm just going to come down as low as you like. Maybe you'd just like to take your hand to the floor and sweep an arm up. Maybe you'd like to come all the way down onto your forearm and sweep the arm over. So inhale. And take the arm up and over. Just going for as deep as or a small swoopy stretch as as you would like here, just to connect us into that breath, and then come up onto hands and knees in your tabletop. Knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. I'm going to do some cat-cows. So inhale, looking up. Roll through the shoulders and push the ground away in your cat. Look up in your cow. And exhale into your cat, really rounding that spine. Maybe you want to put some head rolls in here with this. Maybe you want to do some sort of figure of eights. Just kind of feel into all the joints. Have a little flow with this pose. Lovely. I'm just going to kick one leg out behind us and take it over to one side of the mat, crossing it over the back of the leg that's bent behind us, and then back to the side of the mat. So, pointing those toes nicely. And then we're going to do it the other one. So cross it over that back leg and take it to the other side of the mat. Tap. Lovely. And staying in this hands and knees position, we're going to do some tiger curls. So lift one leg and one hand up off the mat, opposite ones. I'm lifting my left leg and my right hand, and point the toe and stretch the fingers out, then grab the air and like fist pump into the center as you bring your knee up toward the chest as well, and exhale as you do so. Inhale, reach out, elongate. Exhale, crunch. Like grabbing the energy. Give me all the energy to power up my core. Lovely, and switch sides. Inhale, exhale, and fist pump. Feel the power of the fist pump. And lower it all down. Then we're going to come into some twisty thread the needles. Inhale your arm up to the sky, woo! And thread it under the planted opposite hand. Bring your head down to the ground. Can also be on a block here to make a little bit of space, looking down at the mat. And then walk your fingertips, if you would like, to the end of the mat to get a deeper stretch into that shoulder. Keep breathing. Inhale and see if you can lift your arm up and behind your back. Maybe you want to stay here, or maybe you want to bend the arm and cross it along the back of the waist. Maybe you can wriggle those fingers into that hip crease there and make a bind. Wherever you are, unwind, plant the hand, and slide the other one back to you. We're going to take it on the other side. Sweep it right up to the sky and thread it. And take your fingers to walk for a walk to the end of the mat. Maybe you want to come onto the fingertips here like you're clawing at the mat. Just to get a deeper stretch into that armpit. Inhale if you would like, the arm up. Feel free to stay in any posture you find more comfortable. Bend the elbow and see if you can find that bind on the opposite side. And unwind. Lovely. And putting your forearms onto the mat, we're just going to Roll the chest, slide that chest along the floor and push up into our cobra. Soft bend in the elbows, squeezing those glutes to protect that lower spine. And push back, 2 more. Roll that chest along the ground like an undulating wave into your cobra. And lower it back down. 1 more. Inhaling up into your cobra, squeeze those glutes. And lower back down. Now, step your left foot forward, making this little lunge shape, stacking the knee over the ankle. And we're just gonna go back and forth, just opening the hamstring. Handy up on your blocks here. So you've got a little bit more space to maneuver. Try connecting to the breath and inhaling as you come forward and exhaling as you fold. Lovely. And have a little ankle roll while you're here. Go both ways. Whee! Woo! Lovely. And we're just going to swivel round to the front of the mat, keeping that leg extended. And we're up on the knee on the opposite leg. Planting the palms, give the floor, the ground, the mat a little squeeze. And we're going to lower down, pointing those toes up to the sky for more of a stretch. And planting the foot down flat as you can for less of a stretch. Then we're going to plant the foot and bend the elbows and try and catch the chest before it hits the ground in our chaturanga arms. Lovely. And we're just going to flow through a few of these. Inhaling up, exhaling in chaturanga. Lovely. And we're going to slide that foot in, keeping the knee, the leg externally rotated and the knee bent, and bring those hands up to the head. And we're just going to go woo and do a few little side crunches here. Bring the hands back down to the mat, extend the opposite leg out, and we're going to flow through some of those little leg stretchy chaturanga arm thingies. So really squeezing the ground with those fingertips. Lovely. Now walk that foot in, keeping the leg externally rotated again, and we're going to do those little crunchies. Tap, tap, knee to elbow, tap, 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 tap. Lovely. I'm going to swivel round to face the opposite edge of the mat, stacking the knee of the ankle to make that lunge shape. I'm just going to do some stretching then again of the hamstring. Just like we did on the other side. Really try to connect to breath, connect movement to breath. Lovely. And walk it all back down. Maybe curl your toes under. I'm going to just lower the chest down to the mat, raising that tailbone right up to the sky in our puppy pose. Probably looks like I've got absolutely nothing on my underneath parts now. I do, promise. And breathe that chest, bring the forehead. You can have a block to rest your head on here, or you can look forward and try and breathe your chest down to the ground or your chin. Really opening those armpits and that back. Lovely. Just scooch the forearms a little bit closer. I'm going to roll through and up into our Sphinx. So a little back bend on the forearms. Just catch your breath. It's awful sweaty here in the UK today. Roll the chest down. Take the hands out, wider than the mat, about elbow distance apart. And come up onto the fingers and then just look over each shoulder. Just going to put my tassels back over my bottom to make it feel like I've got more on. Inhale, look over the opposite shoulder. Lovely. I'm going to push up, back into our child's pose and roll up to sitting in our hero pose or our thunderbolt pose. Lovely. Swivel the feet out in front of you, pointing up to the sky. Put the hands behind the hips. Grip, grip, grip that mat. And we're just going to do a little reverse table. We're just going to push up and hold. If you don't like holding, you can always swing it. Connect to your breath and swing back and forth. Pushing up. So a couple of options there. Lovely. Now we're just going to window, just move that block so I don't knock over my knee. Window wipe the knees from side to side for a moment. Swishy, 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 swishy. Then lift one foot, hook it onto the knee, and make this little figure four with the legs. Point those toes up to the sky, keep the other foot planted, and then just swishy, swishy the other way. Swishy, swishy. Connecting to your breath. You can hear my sequins crackling under my bum. All the sound effects today. Lovely. And then finish with the foot planted on the floor, so knee down, foot down. Keep this hand behind the hips. Inhale the opposite arm up and see if you can hook it onto that knee that's pointing up to the sky. Then look over your shoulder. Hi guys. In your half-lowered fish. Nice bit more twisty vibes. Unwind and switch your legs over. So cross the other foot onto the other knee and swish it. And I'll listen to my crackling sequined bum. So again, just connecting to the breath again, imagining the swishy is maybe some nice ocean waves of your breath passing in and out, coming and going like the tide. And then send that foot all the way down, that knee all the way down as you look towards that knee. Take the opposite hand behind, lift the other one up to the sky, pointy, and then see if you can twist and hook it on and look over the shoulder. Hello people behind. I've not got anyone behind me, but we can imagine, I can pretend. And release. I'm just going to slide the bottom forward and and come into a little bit of a boat pose. So see if you can lift your feet up with your bent knees, flat-footed, and balance here. You can also give your legs a hug and be like, love you guys, love you legs, and give them a little hug here to help you balance, or you can keep your hands behind. But from here, we're just going to come into our bicycle crunch. So just drop down and keep one knee lifted. Point one leg out straight and bring an elbow to a knee. And switch it over, switch it over, switch it over, switch it over. Cycling on our backs, woo! Crunching and twisting and cycling on our backs. Connecting to your breath with your movements. Gorgeous. And grab your knees and rock and roll until you're all the way up and come up to standing in your mountain. Ta-da! Are we all there yet? Have a little shimmy while you're here to just wriggle into the standing pose of mountain, to feel where your feet are comfy and all that. And stand up nice and tall. And it wouldn't be a solstice class if we didn't include a hella load of sun salutations, because it is all about welcoming back in that big ball of fire in the sky, the sun, on the longest day of sunlight here in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay, so coming through some classical sun salutations. Sweep the arms up in your extended mountain. Squeeze the glutes if you would like to take the arms over into your mini back bend and straighten. And we're going to swan dive down, remembering any blocks if you need them for your deep forward fold. And step back. I'm stepping back with my right foot, keeping the left one stacked over the knee. Maybe you want to raise the arms here in your Anjanasana, or maybe you want your blocks here in your Anjanasana. I like to do a nice long one. You might like to do a little shorter one. Step your feet back into your plank pose. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core. Drop the knees, bend the elbows, dip the spine, lower the chin and the chest down to the mat in your Ashtanga Namaskara. Inhale and pull it all through. Soft bend in your elbows for a cobra. Maybe you would like to elevate onto the back of the feet with straight arm in your up dog. Then we're going to push up. Maybe you would like to roll up through child's pose into your down dog. As your first Adho Mukha Shavasana, have a little pedal. Kick up the right leg and step it to the front of the mat, stacking it. Maybe you want to use your blocks in that Anjanasana. Maybe you want to sweep the arms up. Beautiful. Step it forward, coming into your deep forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Take the arms overhead if you would like to mini back bend. Whee! Swoosh down into your deep forward fold. Stepping it back into your Anjanasana. Plant the palms. Step both feet back into your Palakasana. Lower the knees, bend the elbows, lower the chest, Ashtanga Namaskara. Inhale up into your back bend of choice. Maybe roll through your child's pose up into your Adho Mukha Shavasana. Kick your leg up and step it through. Maybe you want to do an assist and just grab your ankle and step it forward. And sweep the arms up in your Adho Mukha Shavasana. And step it all forward into your deep forward fold and come all the way up to standing. Gorgeous. Now we're going to come through a Sun Sal B. Bit similar, but not quite. Got some chairs, got some chaturangas in. So get ready for an upper body workout. And then we're going to just Put soft bend into the knees. Imagine you're lowering your behind into a chair, but it's not there. So squeeze those knees together, lift the arms up, nice straight spine here in your chair. Then lower the palms down, keeping a nice flat back here in your halfway lift. And lower into a deep forward fold. Then step back, squeeze that mat in your palakasana. Immediately bend the elbows and lower down to the ground in your chaturanga. We practiced those chaturanga arms earlier, squeezing that rib cage. Put your feet back, coming into your up dog, stepping it back into your down dog, kicking up your left leg, and step forward, angle the back foot out slightly, keeping the front knee stacked over the ankle, coming up into your warrior, and lower it down, squeeze the mat into your palakasana, immediately through your chaturanga, coming up into your up dog, can be a cobra if you would like, push back into your Mukha Svanasana, kick the opposite leg up, step it forward, angle the back foot out, raise the torso up into your Virabhadrasana warrior, and lower the hands back down, step it back, chaturanga, up dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and then you can either tiptoe your way to the front of the mat or big hop into your halfway lift, your deep forward fold, and come back into your chair. Woohoo, we rise.
So just a round and a half of some salutations.
So pick up the foot and squeeze the knee towards the chest. Just standing in this little baby H stand, using your dristi to try and keep your balance. I'm going to take that knee out and bend the elbow the opposite way, and then see if you can tap the elbow on the knee. Woo! You can also just be moving the leg in and out with a hand on the hip if that is better for your level of balance today. Lovely. And then take that foot behind and really squeeze that foot towards the glute, giving that quad at the front a nice stretch. Then see if you can push it out, away from you. Push the foot into the hands and make this tiny little back bend here. Cute. Option to drop the foot back down to the mat here for a break, or you can grab hold of the foot, the ankle, and kick the leg up. Raise the arm into your Natarajasana, Lord of the Dance, and lower it down. Beautiful. And we're going to lift the other leg up. Taking that elbow to the knee or to the hip and take it out, and then tap them together. Expand, back together. Expand, back together. Expand, back together. And then take the foot behind. Option to tap the foot down to the ground at any point between poses and transitioning. Squeezing that foot towards the glute. And then push it away. Pushing the feet into the hands. Lovely. And again, option to drop that foot back down to the mat between, or kick up. Point the hand up to the sky in Natarajasana and lower it back down. Beautiful. Now we're going to spin out to the front of the mat, putting a bend into the leg that we left behind. Open the arms out, look down that arm, that's over the stacked knee, in your Virabhadrasana 2. And we're going to reverse it, so take the back hand to the straight leg, back of the hand to the straight leg, while the other arm comes up and over. Then you might want to block here inside the foot, keeping that knee stacked, and take the arm up and over, making a nice long line all the way down from the fingertips of the foot on the opposite side. You can also prop your hand against that open knee anywhere, or come down and put the fingers on the ground. And we're going to windmill it down into a wide leg deep forward fold, so your leg should be just over a leg and a half, or about a leg and a half distance. We're going to take the hands behind the back, hold hands with yourself, and have a nice deep shoulder stretch here. Both sets of toes facing towards the long edge of the mat here. Lovely. And we're going to turn those toes out and come up into our Virabhadrasana on the opposite side. Sweep it up and over into our reverse warrior, and then find that side angle, nice long line up the body. Windmill the arm all the way down and through, coming back to your deep forward fold. Take one palm between the legs. You can grab onto a block here as well to bring the ground up, and just open the arms, twisting each direction towards the sky, feeling a nice stretch in the groin. Either side, you can stay here doing this. You can also have a little walk to opposite sides of the feet, or if you have your straddle headstand, you can see if you can shuffle your feet out a little and pop your head on the ground here, and really grab a hold of the mat, keeping the elbows bent, and see if you can trust and just tip your weight into your head and float your feet off the ground. Opening those legs out, strong engagement through the core. Maybe you just stay here. Maybe you can bring the feet to meet here, and then maybe you can just straighten the legs. You can also still be twisting or playing in your deep forward fold. You can come back to that hip clasp, bring those feet back down to the mat, and power all the way up, everybody, and turn a set of toes out to the short edge, other set of toes out to the short edge. I've now got a serious sweat on because it's about 26 degrees here, and I'm doing a lot of yoga at the hottest point of the day. Woohoo! Bend your knees now that you've got both feet externally rotated. Keep that pelvis and that spine nice and straight, and then cactus your arms in your goddess. Power up, arms up to the sky, swoop them down, round and up, and emerge like the rising sun on the solstice. We'll do that once more. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up, cross them overhead, and arise. Gorgeous. God, so hot. Now bend your knees and see if you can grab hold of the knees here and just push them open a little bit further with these bent elbows. And then push into one side, see if you can look over the shoulder in your twisted goddess. Push the other side into the knee. Feel that stretch, that groin as you look over the shoulder. Wowzers. And then we're going to tiptoe, shuffle, sidestep, whatever you would like, dance the feet back together and come all the way up to standing in our mountain again. We can all just stand here. Then you can come into your tree, so you can either externally rotate your knee out with a slight bend in it and prop it against your ankle. You can take it higher to the calf, or you can come way up here above the knee. Beautiful. We're going to get grounded now and sweep our arms maybe up overhead in our tree and light up our crown chakra in our tree. Woo! Maybe you would like to have your hands at heart center or on the hips. Choice of arms, lovely. Maybe you would like to go deeper and have your lotus legs. So maybe you would like to hook the foot onto the hip crease of the opposite leg. Gorgeous. And be a sunshine again. Whee! Make sure you're really focusing on your point of balance. You can also do this over at the door, wall, with some support somewhere. Now grab your foot and shift it further down the leg. You can pop the foot down to the mat and reposition yourself at any point if you need some help with the balance. Then we're going to sink into our imaginary chair, but with one leg across. Look at us, we're so good at sitting in imaginary chairs now. Lovely. Remember, you can put your foot down to the mat at any point for a rest and shake your ankles out. If you would like to, you can kick your foot into your hand and kick it out straight in front of you. Let me just show you with a strap as well, because you can modify by hooking a strap or a long piece of fabric around the bottom of your foot and kicking it into your strap more upright. Just getting a nice stretch into that hamstring. Let me just re-find my foot. Now hook your fingers onto your peace finger. Hook your peace fingers onto your big toe. Put your hand on your hip and see if you can rotate that leg out. Maybe you can also take the arm out here. Maybe you can salute. Woohoo! And bring that leg back in and back down to the ground. I'm going to do it on the other side. So find wherever your tree is on the other side. I'm going to go straight in for my lotus tree on this side. And take my arms up. And be a sunshine rising. And then position your foot into that sort of figure 4 shape we've been working on. And come into your one-legged chair. Find your one moving point, find your drishti. Gorgeous. Take your foot into your hand or your strap and kick it out. Really nice stretch through that leg. Yummy. Hook the fingers round the toe. Whoop. Embrace any wobbles. Take that leg out to the side or have a go. I salute you. And lower it down slowly and mindfully. And come back to your mountain pose. I'm going to step out, turn the toes, sink back into your feminine energy. Take the arms up overhead and rise like the sun. Turn your feet in a little, maybe shuffle in a little bit. I'm going to squat, sticking our bum out a wee bit. Then bring your elbows to meet the knees and push the knees apart and sink the bottom down to the ground. In your yogi squat can be higher or lower. You can maybe pop some blocks beneath or stack some blocks to give you a little lift here in your yogi squat. If you're quite high up on the tiptoes, you can always have some balance by supporting the back of that foot with a block. So just some tips for your yogi squat here. Either way, push those knees right apart with those elbows. Gorgeous. And we're going to step to the side with the bent knee. Raise the arm up to the sky. Welcome that sunlight in our Skandasana. So the opposite leg is extended. One leg is bent. And then windmill the arm over. Sink into your Skandasana on the other side. Point the toes up to the sky. And we're going to spin, rotate the hips all the way round to the short edge of the mat. Lovely. And sink with the hips into your lunge shape. You can be up on the blocks here for a little bit of support. We're just going to swim the arms behind the back and cross them. And shuffle one hand up towards the center of the spine, the back of the palm, and take one hand up and over and try to hold hands with yourself here. Also can bridge the gap with your strap here, so you can take hand in one strap in one hand here and up and over here. Lovely. So in your lunge, you can be propping up on a block on one side for some balance. See if you can kick that foot up and grab hold of it. Maybe you can grab onto the knee here for your support, Yogi's choice. And see if you can pull that foot in towards the glute. Maybe you're just here holding the foot. This is good also. If you can grab that foot, see if you can wedge it into your elbow crease and point those fingers up to the sky. Again, maybe you stay here. Or maybe you can sweep up and over with the arms. I'll just show you that with a strap as well. So you can have your foot in your hip crease and grab one end of your strap and then take the arm up and over and bridge that gap here and twist to the side. Or maybe you can do it all in one piece. And then rotate back round, lower it down. And we're going to shuffle that foot out to the side and push the knee open in your lizard. Maybe you just want to come to here in your lizard and be looking over the shoulder. Maybe you want to try kicking that foot up again here and pulling it in towards the glute and stretching it out. Gorgeous. And we're going to step that foot back. Come into your Ashtanga Namaskara. Pull it through and up into your Cobra. Roll back, not quite into your child's pose, because you're going to step the other foot forward and find your lunge, your long lunge on the opposite side. So swimming the arms behind and working the opposite hand up the back of the hand, up the spine. Fingertips pointed towards the head, reach up and over. And see if you can find that bind with the fingers. See if you can get a little finger touch with yourself. Or you can use your strap or hang on to the fabric at the back of your top. I've not got any fabric at the back of my top. And unwind. See if you can kick that foot up. And again, pull that leg in or push that leg in towards the glute. See if you can wedge it into that arm crease and go up and over, finding your mermaid lunge. Look to the side and come back to the center. And come back down. And we're going to scoop through that Ashtanga Namaskara again, up and sit back on the toes in our Thunderbolt pose momentarily. Come down onto the bottom and swing the legs out in front. Then bend one leg towards the pelvis and see if you can stack the other foot on top of the knee, like so. So you have one knee on top of the foot here and one foot on top of the knee on the other side. You might want to come into this by finding your figure 4 shape that we've been doing and then just lowering the knee down and aiming to stack the other one on top of the other knee. And sit with a nice straight spine here. If this is not comfortable for you, you can do this with one leg straight and do one side at a time. So there's 3 options. And twist and put your opposite hand on opposite knee and look over the shoulder. Take the hand to the opposite knee and the opposite hand behind, twist and look over the shoulder. Lovely. Open the legs out. Have a little window wipe of the knees from side to side. Swishy, 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 swishy. And then maybe bring that figure 4 shape back in again to get your foot onto your knee and then lower the opposite side down and see if you can find your fire log position here. And maybe push down on the knee. Again, you can have that one leg extended out, one leg crossed in your square leggy shape. Nice bit of fire log to honour the heat of the day that I'm really feeling. It's making my brain go completely melty. I'm quite struggling to find my words in case you maybe noticed. And twist and look over the shoulder. And twist and look over the opposite shoulder. Beautiful. Find your inner fire as the sun returns. Come back onto the knees into your tabletop pose. And we're going to step forward into that lunge shape, then pull back into our half Hanuman. You can use your blocks here, again, for a little bit of height, and just practice folding over that front leg, only going as deep as is comfortable. Or, for a little bit of a challenge, again, you can use a block here, push up into the block and twist to the side and open the arm up to the sky, inviting in the sunlight here. Or you can do it down here and get a bigger twist. Then take the hand to the head and twist down and keep tapping your knee on, tapping your elbow on your knee. Lovely. And then see if you can fold over the leg. Now I'm going to shuffle my foot to the opposite edge of the mat. If you are someone who is wanting to work on coming into your straight leg at the front pigeon, so your like square leg shape at the front, then this is how I come into it. I go onto the blade edge of the foot until I have this square shape. And I shuffle the straightened leg back foot out and lower it down. You can also put a block under there, but if it's not coming down, don't force it, and instead take your foot and angle that foot in towards the hip crease. You can flex it or point it, find what's comfortable in your body. Everyone says flex it, but for some people it's more comfortable to point it, so find where you're at with that. Finn has just graced us with his presence, if you can see him on the camera. Anyways, I'm going to choose my square leg position for my pigeon. You can also in your pigeon, stack blocks underneath the pelvis to create some height here if you're not coming all the way down. The blocks can also be a cushion instead, so just some advice for coming into your pigeon legs. I'm just going to ripple the chest down and back up. And then maybe you want to shuffle this foot in a little bit, and you can bring that foot towards the glute here, propping yourself up on this opposite arm. And you can see if you can find that putting the foot in the elbow crease again, pointing the fingers to the sky, taking the arm up and over, and look out to the side in your mermaid pose, just to honour that wateriness of the fact that we're going to tip into Cancer season soon. Lovely, and slide it back and come to a seat. And we're going to step forward and find that half Hanuman on the other side. Maybe give yourself a little ankle roll, have a little play around. And then open and twist that arm up to the sky. Maybe take it to the head and twist and tap, and twist and tap, and twist and tap, and twist and tap. See if you can fold over that front leg. If you're coming into that straight leg pigeon at the front, then again, walk your foot over to the opposite side of the mat and straighten. Come onto the blade edge and make sure the back leg is really straight and lower it down. Otherwise, come into your pigeon with the foot in towards the hip crease. And remember any stacking of blocks or cushions, and ripple the chest forward and come up and grab the tootsies and lever it in. Find the crease, point the fingers towards the sky, reach back and hold hands with yourself. And then come to the side. Look into the side in your mermaid pose and unwind. I'm just going to swivel the legs out in front. Coming into our straight leg, our staff pose momentarily. We're going to slide one foot towards us, pointing the knee to the sky. Toes remain flexed towards the sky. Cross that foot over the opposite thigh. Swim the arm round. Raise the arm up. See if you can hook it on, coming into your half Lord of the Fish. Beautiful. If you want to go deeper, bring that foot towards you. And then thread, see if you can thread that arm through the whole of your legs, and take this other hand behind the back and hold hands with yourself and look over the shoulder. And unwind all the way. Straighten the legs back out and take it over on the other side. Crossing the opposite leg over. Toes point to the sky. Take the hand behind the back. Arm goes up. Latches onto that knee. Look over the shoulder. Maybe you're staying there, or maybe you're shuffling one foot in. Maybe you're having a play at finding that handhold with the self. Nice to meet you, self. And take the hand behind the back and unwind and straighten the legs. And we did a little baby boat earlier at the beginning of the class. We're going to come back into a boat pose this time. See if you can come to here. See if you can come to here and float the legs. Maybe take your peace fingers and see if you can straighten the legs here and work like a little counterbalance, pulling the legs up. If you can get here with your straight legs, maybe see if you can then take the hands away and balance, really engaging that core, squeezing those legs together. Gorgeous. And lower. Slide the bum forward and lower all the way down to the mat. Yes, we are finally closing the class because I am sweaty. Must be hotter than 26 now. So much sweating. I've got the door wide open, but I do prefer to actually practice outdoors when it's as hot as this. Get some real air. Any hoodles. You can lift your feet up to the sky and stay here in your fountain of youth. Face your soles of your feet up to the sky. Maybe just reach towards the toes. Maybe you can actually touch the toes here. Woohoo! Or if you're still like, I'm still good to go, then you can push through the palms and see if you can lift the hips up off the mat like so. If you can, catch the hips here and point the toes up to the sky. Powerfully. Really squeeze the glutes together, engaging that core. Then maybe see if you can hold hands with yourself here and see if you can bring the legs over the head. You can also still have them on the lower back into your plough. If you did your headstand earlier, this might be nice just to stretch out the back of your neck. Lovely. And bend the knees and roll down. Straighten the legs out. Come up onto the forearms. Puff the chest and dangle the head back down in your fish pose, pointing the toes. And lower the spine all the way down. Bend the knees. Give yourself a hug. And have a little rock and roll, maybe up and down, massaging the spine. Bend the knees, take the peace fingers and wrap them around the big toes or the sides of the feet, and then pull the knees down towards the armpits as you slot the elbows inside of the legs. And have a little rock from side to side and you're happy baby. Lovely. Bring the knees together. Twist to the side in your supine twist. May want to block for support here. May want to have bent arms here. May want to grab onto the legs here. May want to look over the opposite shoulder here. Find your supine twist and style out your way. When you're ready, bring it back to the centre and send it over the opposite way. Lovely. And roll it all back down. Straighten out the legs. Maybe you would like to bring the hand to the heart centre and one to the belly. And just listen to your breathing. Feel the shoulders sinking down to the mat. Dropping into your inner world for a moment. Really inhale and fill the lungs and the belly. And then big exhale. Feel yourself melt. I sure am melty today. And I hope that class brought you some heat. Maybe not quite as much as it brought me because I about melted my brain. And say well done to yourself for inviting in the light and then grounding it all back down to earth. And let it go. Now we've invited all that light into our souls. I hope you can go on from here to shine your most radiant, spectacular, super shiny for the next few days. Now roll on to my side. Thank you for watching, for Flow with Chloe and sharing this super sunny, shiny solstice class with me. Don't forget you can keep coming back and practicing and working towards any of the poses. Go at your own pace, only go as far as feels good in your body, and I hope you enjoyed finding the light with me. See you again soon. Mwah. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and all that jazz. Just shimmy my way in there in the sunset. So I did have the chart open and I've stupidly closed it. So there's our summer solstice chart. And it's going to fall on the 21st of June. I plan to be at Stonehenge, bringing in the light. So our summer solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere on the 21st of June. It's very much about, you know, honouring the return of the light, and it's at its most abundant point, and it's like standstill in the sky where we get the longest hours of sunlight, and this like big shiny energy, the longest hours of sunlight out of the whole year. And in the UK, you know, we really worship that because it can be grim weather in this country. But under this summer solstice chart, you know, we look at the sun a lot, but also this year under the summer solstice we have two fingers of God. So two ways to really direct our energy. So we have the sun and Jupiter, which is an absolute blessed combination. It's like shining a light on, expanding the yes vibes, big energy. So we have that at one point of this finger of God at the base of it, and then Mars that's just tipped over into Virgo. So we've got the sun and Jupiter just tipped over into Cancer, and Mars just tipped over into Virgo, and that's very angelic kind of vibes, that Mars tipping over into that Virgo. And then we look to the point, and what those energies are pointing to is our Pluto in Aquarius, which is, you know, inviting in this new era. And so it's taking action to go into our light energy and see what belongs and what doesn't, what do we believe, what are our beliefs, and expand to go into this new era. What is it we need to take action towards? What is our truth, our true beliefs, to take us into this new era, which is gorgeous. And then we also have another yod between Pluto and Saturn conjunct Neptune, that's in Aquarius, and the conjunction is in Aries at the base, and it's pointing towards that Mars. So lots of taking action towards new eras, because Saturn and Neptune have just moved into Aries, forming another new era vibe. So it's like shifting the energy, shining it bright, and going into the new world vibes. It's just brilliant. And so, yeah, I massively plan to be at Stonehenge welcoming it in on the 21st at literally sunrise. I'm going to take a few cards. Woo! There they are. From the Litha Solstice deck. And we have heirloom tomatoes. Interesting. Enter into the depths of intimacy where the seeds of your desires will be nourished. Ooh, tasty. Juicy tomatoes. Lots of seeds in the middle of a tomato, isn't there? Lots of abundance, and it's super juicy. And tipping over into this Cancer. Cancer is all about the depths of intimacy and nourishment, and you know what we feed, feeding our dreams, birthing a new earth, birthing new dreams, and nurturing it so it can grow into existence. We also get heat wave. We're having one right now in the UK. There is something ominous being illuminated by the flames that await. That might be what we shine a light on to transmute, to move forward into these new energies. And the last one we get is Light Worker. Gorgeous. It is all about inviting the light, about everything going on in the sky is about, you know, maximum light at the moment for that solstice chart. The transmutation, as I was just saying, what we need to transmute in order to go into that new light, that new world energy. The transmutation of shadow is needed when seeking the light that guides you. Because we have that plutonic point, which can be, you know, our darker underworld side of things. What is it asking us to release so that we can move forward into these new energies? Gorgeous. Mwah.